All right, Canadians, it's time to shine a light on the rot festering in Ottawa's halls of power and procurement corruption. While Canadians were locked down, masked up, and forced to comply with soul-crushing public health diktats, a select few were cashing in big time on the pandemic panic. So what's the latest? Well, let's dig in. At the heart of pandemic profiteering is the scandal of ArriveCan, more aptly known as ArriveScam. It's the Liberal government's $63 million fiasco that enriched cronies while the rest of us were forced to succumb to a state-sanctioned surveillance system under the guise of stopping the spread of COVID-19 if you wanted to travel. It all boils down to the ArriveCan investigators' report, the one that Conservative MPs have been begging to see. And guess what? It's just been sealed by federal court order because a judge granted the request of Cameron McDonald. He's a former Canada Border Services Agency director who doesn't want you to know what's in this report.
So I don't know. Neither does Mr. Utano, who had a spotless record. We're just trying to get the right information. We're trying to have transparency.
This is the same guy who admitted to boozing with federal contractors, but swears he had nothing to do with the inside dealing that turned ArriveCan suppliers into millionaires. Justice Henry Brown called the allegations most serious, and you bet they are. Serious enough to warrant a temporary injunction to keep this report under wraps. So what are they hiding? Fraud, bribery. I mean, we know that those are already on the table because Conservative MP Larry Brock dropped that bombshell last year, reading excerpts from a 2023 preliminary statement of facts that the Liberals conveniently never made public. Page 10, which he cites, alleges that an ArriveCan contractor solicited a bribe. A federal manager tried to shred thousands of records to cover their tracks. And the RCMP is investigating this fraud and bribery because it's corruption so blatant that I don't think they're even trying to hide it anymore. Auditor General Karen Hogan put it boldly in her recent report, saying that ArriveCan's irregularities point to serial law breaking. So this isn't just a one-off. This is how the Liberal machine operates, rewarding loyalists while Canadians lose their jobs, businesses, and now their sanity. McDonald is the poster child for this mess, and he had the gall to testify that he only tracked $6.3 million of ArriveCan's costs. $63 million later, he's still pointing fingers elsewhere. The government mandated this surveillance and tracking app that went 900% over budget, and nobody's accountable. Who got rich here? Meanwhile, GC Strategies, the main contractor, got so cozy with the Liberals that they were banned from federal contracts for 7 years, but only after Hogan's audit exposed their so-called deficiencies in following procurement rules, which I'd say is a little too late. And it's not just ArriveCan, it's the entire federal contracting system, which is a cesspool. Procurement Ombud Alexander Jellick just confirmed it. His latest report highlights the system is broken, plagued by decades-old problems, silos of responsibility, overlapping accountabilities, and glaring gaps let profiteers slip through the cracks. Jellick's calling for a chief procurement officer to clean up this mess, but don't hold your breath. The Liberals thrive on complexity. It's how they keep their gravy train rolling. It's so bad that Canadian vendors are saying that it's easier to sell abroad than to deal with Ottawa's bureaucratic nightmare. That's not a bug. That's a feature. While you were standing in line for a jab that you didn't want, or for following arrows on the grocery store floor to save you from an invisible virus, or maybe even watching your small business crumble under mandates and closures, these pandemic profiteers were laughing all the way to the bank. And who's paying for all of this? Well, you are. Your tax dollars funded this $63 million app that barely functioned, was disgustingly over budget, and turned Canadians into medical prisoners in their own country, while the Liberals stonewall, deflect, and hide the truth. They'll promise ambitious savings or throw $850 million at defense upgrades to distract you, but don't be fooled. This is about power, control, and rewarding their friends. It's time to demand answers. Why is the ArriveCan report sealed? Who's protecting McDonald and his contractor buddies? And why does the Liberal government keep dodging accountability while Canadians are left to pick up the tab? We deserve better than a government that profits from our pain. For Rebel News, I'm Tamara Ugolini. We called on the feds to stop ArriveCan as quickly as it started at noarrivecan.com. To see all of our independent reporting on this topic and consider supporting our work, please head on over to noarrivecan.com.